We're looking forward to this one. I reckon the Raiders will be looking at a top 4 finish. They've got to start this afternoon. There's still plenty of time left in the competition, but they need to win and play well in the second half. They've had problems in the last 3 games they've played here.
We are underway. The Raiders will get first use of it from the southern end of GO Stadium, and it's Ata Mariotta into the starting side in another switch by Ricky Stewart. Sami Solo will come off the bench, and Mariotta takes the first carry as Tapani off the back of that. Will take it just beyond the Raiders 20. Big chance for both teams to push forward for a place in the top 8 in 2023. Whitehead just outside the 30 here from Wolford. Goes to Horsburgh. Might be just this one game away before he's named potentially for the Maroons in Game 3 of the Origin Series. He's part of the squad in the build-up to Game 2.
Restart.
And 6 more tackles here coming up for Canberra. Bonus set to begin with here for the Green Machine. Tapani.
Really nice work there from Hudson Young, just recognising Fodderwake and not square at marker, and just jabbed in behind the ruck to get the marker out of play. Smart work from Young.
Here's Horsman now tipping it on. He goes across through Fogarty, the former Titan himself. His kicking has been terrorising teams in recent weeks. Timoko jumps out of dummy half and takes them inside the 20. Great chance for the Raiders here in this first possession. Wolford waits at dummy half. It goes to Fogarty, who bypasses Mariotta, comes across to Chris, Wyden, Croker, good hands, Hopewadi for the corner, and he got there. What a beginning for the locals. Hopewadi with the put down. He had some work to do as well, but the hands were crisp across to this left-hand side.
Yeah, beautiful work from the Raiders out towards their favoured left-hand side, and it's Hopewadi on the end of some beautiful skill. Just watch Fogarty nice and wide on the pass, getting it crossfield, getting the ball to Chris. And it was just poor defence, really, from the Gold Coast side. Great skill there from Jared Croker and Whiten to get the ball out to Albert Hopewadi, who's really finding a home on that left edge. That's great skill there. Under pressure, Croker from Fifita, who's come into the side late. If you've only joined us, Philip Sami ruled out in the warm-up. Jojo Fifita onto the right wing, and they go straight there, the Raiders. And on the back of a set restart, find the first points of the afternoon.
Well, you'd think you'd be able to defend a repeat set, wouldn't you? They just got up over the halfway line straight away, got the repeat set through a great run from Hudson Young. As you mentioned, Mick, he caught the markers out, and then a good dummy half run over the other side of the field. And slick hands, that's beautiful stuff there. Croker, the catch and pass, that was a money ball. A legs tackle coming in there by AJ Brimson. Probably the only thing he could do there, and Hopewadi gets across the stripe.
Here is the man who supplied that catch and pass to put Hopewadi in the corner, Jared Croker. Pass fit off the back of a knock last week against the Roosters to take his place here in the team today. From out near the sideline. It'll be cool in the shadows later on, but what an afternoon it is here in Canberra to begin. It's a low driving kick, but it scrapes across the crossbar, and Canberra lead the Titans 6 points to 0, Matty Russell.
Even on a mild day in Canberra it's good beanie weather. Great to see Beanie for Brain Cancer Round playing part of its element here in Canberra. Good crowd in the house this Saturday afternoon. They've already seen Canberra win 2 lower grades, all 3 grades here today. The Flegg and Cup saluting in upsets wins. And Ricky Stewart, old school, he'd love a day where all 3 grades won at home in front of the home crowd. In fact, his NRL team says we owe the home crowd, having lost here heavily to Penrith, to Manly and to the Warriors last start. They're here to repay the faithful this afternoon.
That they are, as Mariotta brings it out here to once again begin this set of 6 for Canberra. If you haven't got a beanie as yet, still go to the markhughesfoundation.com.au website. You can go to Lowe's or IGA, as well as the man himself told us in our pre-game show here in Canberra. Well, a start for the Raiders. Here's Horsburgh, who will bring it back here to almost the 30. Held up there in a 4-man tackle to try and stop him. He's been in great form. In fact, he will have to go back and play it on the mark, says the referee, Todd Smith.
Yeah, good chance there down that left-hand side.
Tackle 3, hold.
It's up off the restart here. 15 short of the halfway line as Wolford looks in the bright sunshine. What a clear day it is. Mariota taking it forward just in his 8th game in the NRL. On the short side, it's Fogarty with the kicking. Spoke during the lead up to this game about how hard he's been working on that facet of his game, and boy, they have reaped some dividends off the back of it.
Yeah, what sort of start is this for the Canberra Raiders too? Just completing. We haven't seen the Titans with the football. This is the first time we've seen them coming off their own line. Good kick downfield. They've created a couple of opportunities early.
There is AJ Brimson, who is right in the frame to take the place of Reece Walsh in that maroon side for Game 3, July 12 at Accor Stadium against the Blues as they look for a maroon wash. Liu comes across through Foran and then Fifita. Big fend on Fogarty. Stayed on his feet, did Fogarty, but it was a real statement there from David Fifita early on. Fodawaker now. Big game for Queensland in the second game at Suncorp Stadium. The win to wrap up the series, and Boyd to kick towards the corner. Hopewadi coming forward, grabbed there by Fifita, popped over the top. Now Boyd, Grubbers, they have to play at it. Fogarty was there, he takes it dead under pressure from Kieran Foran.
Just keep an eye on Elliott Whitehead here. Nice work from the Gold Coast side, but it's the bump here on Jamal Fogarty, and then from the inside, he just came down hard on the back of that play. Fogarty taking no chances, Foran pressing on the kick. But Elliott Whitehead on the far side of the field in a bit of trouble here.
Taking a look at him, he was off the back of that run by Fifita where he put the bump on Jamal Fogarty. He remained on the ground for a moment or two.
Wasn't sure whether he tripped was or whether he actually stumbled. We'll have to have a look at that again.
Rapana goes short, brings it down barely 11 metres out. What a catch though by Fifita. Up above everybody to bring it down and give the Titans a golden chance here to hit straight back. They've got points in them, as they've shown, more so than against the Broncos last week. Fasua Mala'awi standing here. Whitehead with a fitness test there, looked to be okay in helping Tapani to make that tackle. Verrills comes back through Liu, and Boyd shifts it on Brimson. The speed and the right edge shot is taken down only a couple of metres out. 2 plays left in this set. Brimson at first receiver. Finds Boyd. Big shift on here from sideline to sideline. Fogarty did well. He came up on Foran to shut it down before he was able to link up with Fifita. We've got one more play. Bypass Liu, Boyd, grubbering. There was a trap there from Corey Horsburgh. I thought played at. The referee says not played at, and that will be the changeover. But surely Horsburgh put a foot out there to stop that ball getting through the line.
Yeah, he stuck his foot out, there's no doubt about that. They've got a couple of calls going early for the Canberra Raiders, but should have been 6 again there to the Titans. They were putting all sorts of pressure on. There it is, just sticks the foot out. That's 6 again to the Titans.
That's blatant, wasn't it? Just a big call going the way of the Raiders. Trainer still with Elliott Whitehead on the far side of the field.
He stuck the foot out and had the arms extended. Did Horsburgh, trying to charge it down if it needed that. Instead, it's the Raiders who work it away. The Titans unlucky there not to get 6 more. Mariota will take it forward. See how many minutes he starts for today before Salwell comes off the bench. Gula there, Nick Kotrick an inclusion on the bench for cover for the outside backs. Tapani almost back to the halfway line. Goes back to Fogarty, who will kick here down to the speedster. Khan Pereira, did he get a foot on the line? Yes, he did. It was just maybe only a couple of toes worth, but that's all he had to do.
Yeah, it's great awareness. Brilliant awareness from Khan Pereira there just to get his foot back. It was a great strike. Got good purchase off the right boot, Jamal Fogarty. Just look at this, gets the foot back. Yeah, it's great work. Now earns his side a penalty. And a bit of possession now going the way of the Gold Coast side.
Yeah, on the back of a quick play, the ball too was that shot there. Just went straight up the middle. Got great leg speed. He wins the penalty there for the Titans. Then on the attack again.
Now It's happened here about 35 metres out from the Canberra line. It'll be a great battle between the 21-year-old speedster in Khan Pereira against the veteran Jordan Rapana on that far side of the field in this first half. So far, Suamalalawi here, just outside the 30. As across to Fodawaker. They both play big minutes, in excess of 60 minutes they're averaging each. The two front rowers. Boyd at the line for foreign, goes out the back. Here's Fifita, went past Rapana, stops as he ran in behind foreign, and it will be a penalty for an obstruction.
Just spoke about Jordan Rapana, the experience there. They did a great job, the Gold Coast attack, to strip the Raiders right edge of numbers, and it was some brave defence there from Rapana, just doing enough to get in the way of Fifita. Foreign had gone through the line and just tucking himself in behind Todd Smith, blowing the penalty, and a relieving one for the Raiders. Looked like he was going to stroll over there, Fifita.
Yeah, it's great defence there from the Canberra Raiders. On Fifita, you've got to get up and get in his face. If you give him time, he'll carve you up. He's bounced out of a couple of tackles already.
Here comes the green machine again down this left-hand side. They look extra sharp through Wyden and Croker. Applewadi brings it back to the halfway line. They're keen to come to this side of the field.
They're keen to move the ball, and they're doing it with low risk. It's been good from the Raiders early.
If you missed the news and the warm-up, some hamstring tightness for Philip Sami. Taken out of the game, might be available, the Titans say, at a pinch if needed, as the 18th man, and Jojo Fifita taking his place on the right wing. There's Fogarty looking outside, then inside. Hangs on to it himself. He takes it inside the 20. 2 plays remaining in this set. Slow play the ball. Wyden stops and starts. Gives it off to Tarpany. Almost a mix-up there as they try to get a little bit too cute. Tarpany a good offload though. Whitehead showing it. There was a touch on the way through, and it's ruled a knock-on against Canberra.
He's dangerous, isn't he? Joey Tarpany had to reach for the footy as the coaching box of the Raiders watch on closely. Just skipping across with that athleticism and footwork. Just promotes the ball here on the outside, and it just goes behind Jordan Rapana and propels it forward into the arms of Elliott Whitehead.
From the scrum, when the Titans work it away, we saw that shot. Ricky Stewart up in the coach's box, not prowling the sideline. No doubt he'll be down there at some stage. Easy to see him watching on from up high to begin the game. There he is, though, McCrawley, and of course Michael Maguire, his assistants, alongside him. Loose ball here. Was a touch by the Raiders? It might have been, because it's been ruled a knock-on by the Titans now.
Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. You've got to get up in the face of Fifita, and that's not a natural offload there. It's just trying to flop the ball over the top. That's a poor pass from Fifita. But look at the numbers there from the Canberra Raiders. Poor pass. That's a mistake. The Raiders get the football back on the attack now.
He'll be disappointed with that block. That's the sort of thing that David Fifita's got out of his game this year. It's the one area where he's really improved. He's just used his brute force and athleticism to get himself through the line rather than just looking for cheap offloads like that. And that's a cheap turnover. And good field position again for the Raiders.
Now Wolfen off the back of the scrum. Fogarty, they wrap some numbers to that right-hand side, and Fogarty takes it a long way down to just outside the Gold Coast 20.
Kelly in some trouble.
Timoko standing, dancing. Kelly is hopping. He may have a groin issue, something in that region potentially by the looks of things.
Might have got a little clip.
I think that might be the case.
Ouch.
He's on his haunches as we speak. You see him in the corner of the screen. He is really struggling. Horsburgh, Fogarty, Wyden out the back. Here's Chris. Going down this fullback role now, deep into the season. Taking a little look down the short side, caught them out, not square at marker. 6 more tackles here for Canberra. Young going in and away through Horsburgh, back to Mariota. Well around the legs there by 4 and just inside the 10, but a full set from close range. Tarpany taking it a long way here. Will play it underneath the black dot. They're deep again on this left-hand side. Whiten stepping on the inside there. There was an obstruction this time against Canberra.
Structure. No, not quick, AJ.
Whiten had a crack there from close range, but just got some help from one of his teammates in opening up that half a gap.
It just shows how destructive he is too when he decides to run the ball, Jack Whiten. There's the obstruction there. Just that ability to stretch out and score. It gets called back. They hang on there, the Titans. Thought they should have went up the short side there a couple of times on that right-hand side. They were done for numbers. They come back to the middle through Tarpany.
It was Horsburgh who ran the decoy line and just removed one of the Titans from the defensive line, and there was a hole there.
Well, they were so keen to move the ball to Whiten's side, it just didn't recognise that Kelly was in trouble out on their left edge and needed the ball to go right towards Fogarty.
As Verrills from dummy half heads towards Kelly's side of the field. Asuamala he takes it inside the 40, and Kelly looks to have recovered. Took him a set, maybe longer, but he's okay at the moment. Juggle here. Now Isaac Liu as they work it down the middle through the forwards. Might be time for the backs in these next couple of plays. Boyd gets a chance, takes it deep into the line. Brimson's there. He tried to find Shop. There was a problem for Canberra because Jack Whiten slipped over in the defensive line. And it gave the Gold Coast an extra man for a moment, but they put the ball down again.
Yeah, well, back-to-back errors now for the Gold Coast side. Just trying to move the ball to the edge. It was Boyd that sunk deep into the line and having to reach for it. Brimson just lobbed the pass, and we're saying that touched Aaron Shop and went forward. Must have just clipped his fingers. You can see by his reaction. But now an error from Fifita, one from Shop, and they're just not building any pressure with possession at the moment.
This is game one of 3 on Super Saturday coming to you live on Fox League. Beyond this one, take to the Cowboys hosting the West Tigers, and then second instalment of the Battle of Brisbane between the Broncos and the Dolphins. A big 3 games coming your way today right here on Super Saturday. Here is Rapana, and another set restart for the Raiders, their 3rd since the beginning of the game. We've had just over 15 minutes, 1 try to nil, and a 6-0 scoreline off the back of it. Tarpany playing it here for Woolford, goes back, bypasses Horsburgh, Whitehead. After that early knock, he looks to be okay. Woolford slow out of dummy half there, a couple of double pumps before he eventually worked it through to Mariotta. They'll play for Woolford. Numbers on this short side with Young. A little switch there for Whiten was the potential play. Young at the line eventually popped it out the back. The call of held had come from the referee. Fogarty with the kick. He's been producing points. A chance out wide. They've got more points. Coming down with it, the Raiders have scored again off the Fogarty kick. Tremendous stuff for Sebastian Chris to end up with it and make this a 10-0 scoreline.
Yeah, boy, what a season he's putting together, Sebastian Chris. He was outstanding against the Roosters last week, and so was this. The kicking game of Jamal Fogarty, pinpoint, right in behind Kieran Foran. And there's Sebastian Chris. When all eyes were on Rapana, who was coming outside in, they took their eyes off Chris, who just loomed through the middle and comes down with the Raiders' second 4-pointer. There he goes, straight from the inside. Does he get the ball down? Yes, he does. Sebastian Chris picks up the Raiders' second and block. It's back-to-back errors from the Gold Coast side, just inviting the Raiders into the game.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to mount any pressure, have they? The Titans have been up the other end a couple of times, but errors have really cost them. A little bit of a knock on the Canberra Raiders about how they've been getting their tries through kicks. Who cares? Doesn't matter how you get your tries. They know exactly where he's going to pinpoint the ball there, Fogarty. And Chris follows through, gets the ball and slams it down. Back-to-back tries now for the Raiders.
Well, they go that first set and they get a set restart. Canberra, they go down, get a try. And then again there on the far side of the field, holding down Timoko off the great run. Another set restart. They're just struggling to defend back-to-back sets, the Gold Coast. And, gee, that was a nice kick from Fogarty.
We'll see if Jared can boost the spirits, as if they need boosting. If his #1 fan doesn't let him down, and it's 12 points to nil. It's that kind of afternoon here in Canberra, Matty Russell.
Absolutely, as Emre Gula prepares to enter the action for Canberra. We'll see who he goes on for, because Elliot Whitehead clearly in discomfort with a foot or leg injury. The Raiders are keeping the matter close to their chest, insisting he's okay. But as this try was scored, he was severely discomforted by something, and we'll see whether he can see the game out.
Celebration there from Sebastian Chris off the back of the kick from Jamal Fogarty. 2 tries off kicks last week. Did the same thing against the West Tigers at Campbelltown a few weeks before that. And he has worked so hard, spoke about it as we mentioned in the lead up to this game. He's there for extras, working with Ricky Stewart himself. And there was no better kicker in the game than what Ricky was, of course, in his time with the Raiders and also the Bulldogs. They bring it back here at the 20. Hudson Young.
Good carry.
Big contact there. Titans looking to find something here and needing to in a hurry. Almost midway through this opening half. Gula, as Matt Russell mentioned, is out there now. He's left one of the Titans on the ground. Behind him it was Joe Stimson in game number 100, bringing up the milestone this afternoon. Left on the ground there. Brimson trying to bring it back, but Canberra doing everything nicely at the moment.
Yeah, tackle count really climbing for the Gold Coast side, and you can just see here Fodawaker, Stimson, Isaac Liu, Verrill struggling to get back behind the ball. Starting to feel the pinch, the Gold Coast. It's what happens when you turn over too much ball. Look at that, Gold Coast 100 tackles to 47.
Malawi just outside the 40 here will play it for Verrills. On the left-hand side where Fodawaker takes a strong carry, but he's well wrapped up. In fact, it was Fifita on that left-hand side as Boyd puts it in the air. Here is Crisp having to adjust to it. The ball tapped backwards by the Titans. Khan Pereira cleans up, puts a kick in across the field. That was dangerous because if Hopewadi beat his man Fifita, there was some open space there.
Yeah, a little bit of kick for the sake of kicking that time there. It was an ordinary kick, you're right. If they'd not followed through there, the Titans, the Raiders would have been up over the halfway line. The chase would have been on.
It's great to see this man, Albert Hopewadi, who was cruelled by some nasty injuries at a really important time in his career. Start to get some back-to-back games together and show the form that he showed as a schoolboy, where he was an absolute star. He's doing a great job for Canberra at the moment on this left wing.
Now Young bouncing into the tackle there of Aaron Shot, gets an offload away. Wolford goes to Fogarty. Had support there as well in Gula, but he takes the tackle on the last here. Comes back to Whiten, looking for the belly of the ball. Awkward one to handle here for Brimson. He lets it bounce. It's a friendly one for Canberra. Now he tries to use the upright pad to bring it back and does so, but what a kick by Jack Whiten.
To see him get on his bike there, Timoko. Just the bounce of the footy. Favoured AJ Brimson at the back for the Titans, but he was coming through at the Raider knots there, Timoko.
Scurry back Brimson. He knew the urgency of the situation. Was able to keep it in the field of play, but they've used up 3 plays. They're still inside their own 20. Fifita going nowhere in a hurry here. Has he been hurt in the contact here? It appears so. There was some concern from teammates behind the play immediately there from Fodawaker and also Brimson. And then we'll see if the bunker has anything to say about this. See Gula coming down on the back of the neck there, and invariably
it's a crusher there, and they'll get a penalty here, the Titans. Forceful pressure on the back of the neck there.
And as you see, Todd Smith says Emre Gula placed on report.
That's a big blow for a number of reasons. It was unnecessary there from Gula, and he's disappointed. You've seen his reaction, but play 4 had them inside the 20-metre line. It was a great defensive set on the back of a great kick from Whiten, and the Raiders right on top, relieving penalty.
Not too many chances. This end of the field. See what they can muster here in this set. It is Stimson. Played 51 games with the Melbourne Storm, beginning his career back in 2017. 34 games with the Bulldogs before linking with the Titans. Suamala getting through plenty of work in his carries from this end of the field. Slow play the ball though, and he reacts as well to the efforts there of Whitehead. Foran just take a charge himself. Solo effort which doesn't lead to much. Now Verrills down the short side, goes to Fifita. He has support there in Kelly. Pereira puts a kick in, and Fifita is there.
Is he onside? That's the only problem.
We will see. The referee for the moment thinks he was. David Fifita scores for the moment for the Gold Coast Titans. Some quick hands down the short side, and a good kick as well from Lofi Pereira.
Yeah, nice bit of deception from Verrills. That just moved Whitehead at marker. Did well there, Kelly, to keep the ball alive. He's onside. Yep. Did really well, David Fifita. Done with purpose down that left edge. Everyone on time, everyone at full speed. Pereira just dabbing it in behind the Raiders line. And David Fifita having a great season for the Gold Coast. Just pushes back on the inside, competes hard. And on the back of that penalty from Emre Gula, they go the length of the field and pick up their first try.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the work there from Verrills. He's got good guile out of dummy half there. You saw how he held up the marker, which given the extra man there, the kick back in field, Fifita does well. He checked himself, just stayed there. Didn't try to follow through after he'd been checked, after he'd passed the football. And that is a good hit back there on the back of a penalty. The Raiders had the Titans in all sorts of trouble. Fourth tackle crusher. They kick downfield. They go up the short side through Verrills and they score. Good hit back.
Try and drag them back. Just a converted try, the difference here. Tanner Boyd. 15 in from touch, very kickable one. He splits the uprights. It's back to a 6-point game. Canberra 12 against the Titans 6, and Blocky. Jim Lenahan, interim Titans coach, spoke about David Fifita in the build-up to this game, saying, you know, less flashy stuff from him so far in 2023. It's more about hard work. He's really taken to that, and he's back playing Origin football as a result.
Yeah, you know what I've really enjoyed Fifita this season? The hard work at the back end of the field. We didn't see that. We're waiting. We know what a great player he is and a great ball runner, but he's doing the hard work at the back end of the field, taking hard carries and hit-ups. So that's why his game's improved so much.
They're on the board. It's Mo Fotuaika to bring it out here. Strong carry. There was no brake pedal there from the Titans and Queensland front rower. JJ Fifita, an offload here. Brimson scrambling. So dangerous in a broken field situation like that. Would have been hearts in mouths there, and the Raiders' defensive line, who can step through so easily. Suamala. 3 plays gone as Verrills waits. Now Foran, cut-out ball, trying to get to Timoko. What a ball for Pereira. Fogarty, a big effort though to cut him down, and stops him probably scoring from long range yet again. Here is Fifita, charging hard. Good tackle down low by Corey Horsburgh. That had to be made. Boyd looks towards the corner. Fifita out here against Hopewadi. Hopewadi does very well to bring it down for Canberra.
Yeah, it's a battle on the far side of the field. Brian Kelly and Matt Timoko. That time Kelly just getting the better of Timoko, getting the ball around the corner. Pereira flying, and what a try-saving tackle it was from Jamal Fogarty. And on the back of that, up above the pack, Albert Hopewadi, who's having some nice moments in the first half.
Didn't break into stride, Pereira, did he? We've seen how quick he is at getting on the outside of oppositions. Fogarty, what a great tackle. He's already set up a try with a crossfield kick, but that's just as important, that cover tackle.
Because we have seen Pereira just leave defenders in his wake. Fogarty to make that tackle was a huge effort. Here's a spiral kick. They're really testing out Brimson. Looked a bit nervy again under that catch, but makes a nice clean one and brings it back here, and the Gold Coast will begin almost back at their 40-metre line.
Sami Saulo out there now for the Canberra side, so Ricky Stewart going to his bench. Joseph Tarpany, a really good solid stint to start the game as always.
Salo on deck for the first time today as Foran comes across here. Staggering run from Brisbane until he was wrapped up pretty comfortably by Fogarty. Suamala-Aui runs back at the halfback, trying to make him double up on his work. Fodawaker on the right-hand side. Met there with a strong tackle by Salo, and also Hudson Young, the kick in behind them. Chris is there, couldn't clean it up. Young coming backwards. Well, it wasn't touched by Chris, obviously. It was off the Titans. Young will be driven back into the in-goal area, and the Gold Coast gets 6 more tackles.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get himself back in the field of play there. Hudson Young. Ball's knocked backwards. Well, did it come forward off one of the Canberra Raiders? Anyway, Hudson Young cleans it up, gets back in the field of play, but then the troops come.
Yeah.
5 tacklers there. That's enthusiasm. They've cut out their errors now, the Titans, starting to get a little bit more ball completion. It's now the Raiders that are looking a little bit tired.
Rapana looking to go short once again. We'll be testing out the conditions of the turf here underneath the uprights. We'll bring it down again. Boy, he's got these down pat, hasn't he? It didn't have much hang time, though, and in the end, it was a pretty easy grab there for Jojo Fifita. No, Stimson works it back towards the uprights. Slow start for the Gold Coast. They are warming to the task here, and now a chance to level things up. Foran, short ball there. Fifita out the back, put down by the Gold Coast. Boy, they waste some tackles here. And a set play in mind. Fifita arguing a case that it was touched by Canberra, and they are going to challenge.
Coming into tackle 3. Titans are challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on. Kieran Foran is claiming he was grabbed before knocking the ball on.
This is a huge moment for the Gold Coast side, who have wrestled the momentum back and are right on top here. There's Fifita, low tackle from Fogarty. No, well, he was...
There is no knock-on from Kieran Foran, and he's tackled without the ball.
Gee, you had to make the tackle there.
The challenge is
Can't
successful.
Absolutely.
But a good challenge from Foran.
It's a penalty, boys.
It was a hands-up play, not to play it with the hands and potentially knock it on, and to play it off the knee instead.
Must be hard for David Fifita, particularly with the skill that he knows that he's got and the power, but sometimes he just needs to carry and not think offload. He's in that mood a little bit today. He's been effective all year, just carrying with power.
Tino takes it forward to begin this set. On top of the Canberra liners, Verrills waits a dummy half. Comes across to Boyd. Here is Stimson again, laying the line on this right-hand side of the uprights. They are deep to the left-hand side with plenty of numbers there. Liu instead spins and loses it. They got a reprieve on the previous set with the penalty, not this time around though. And so many numbers out there on the left-hand side. Liu, though, takes it, puts it down, and to boot, gives away a penalty.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make him that middleman that's a bit of a ball player through the middle third of the field, Liu. He's good for a couple of mistakes a game, trying to play that new role. The Raiders hang on there.
Yeah, it's a big let-off, was. Had 2 full sets down on the Raiders line. It was the offload from Fifita where they got lucky with the captain's challenge going their way, but a cheap turnover there from Isaac Liu. It's a concentration error. And then Fogarty with the penalty drives it 40 metres downfield.
That was a good kick for line to give them some field position to begin with here. Whiten on the inside shoulder there of Tanner Boyd, but closing the door was Stimson from the inside. Here's Young. Broken on his outside, fends away from Boyd, gives it to Wolford, then Whiten. He cuts a couple out to Horsburgh in the middle, off the right foot, then the left foot, showing how much skill he's got. The footwork, the big man. He'll play it for Wolford, and now Young broke it at the back. Whiten, oh, Hopewadi had half a chance had he been able to reel that in. But the pass was ever so slightly behind him, but on the way through, it was touched by the Gold Coast.
Yeah, they've looked dangerous, haven't they? Anytime they've been in good field position, going to this left-hand side, and again, the Titans...
Captain's challenge from the Titans. On-field ruling is the pass was touched. forward from the Titans. Yep, into a knock-on from Canberra. Titans are challenging.
I must say I didn't see the initial touch from the Gold Coast.
Either did I. And let's take a look and see what the replay shows here. Croker at the line.
Oh, that's a great call from
Aaron
Touchy.
Shop touches the ball, which travels towards the opponent's dead ball line, constituting a knock-on. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, that's hard to believe that Aaron Shop could go to the captain and say, I didn't touch that. We should challenge this.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
Otherwise, his fingers are numb because of the cold.
Well, it can be chilly down here, but not today.
Oh, I like it. You're right. Canberra now potentially could have been standing behind their goal line, conceding points. And then in the blink of an eye, now down attacking with a full set on the Titans line. And both times they've been down here, they've found points.
They really waste the captain's challenge to the Titans. Let's see if they're made to pay for it. As Canberra have it 5 metres out from the line. Wolford goes to Fogarty. There's Young. There's a mix up there with Wolford trying to get himself back behind the play. They play the ball here from Hudson Young. Touching the chest or thereabouts. Now it's Horsburgh. He takes it back inside the 10. Not much doing so far in this set. They're set on the right-hand side now. They just keep punching it forward, though. What a run here. Gould will take it within close range. Still trying to work his way to the line. Here's Horsburgh. He has a crack himself. It's been all the big boys in this set. For no result. The kick from Wolford on the last will be too big. Don't know Ricky Stewart be all that rapt about what he saw from his team in the last 60 seconds.
No, I thought he overdid it that set. Wolford just kept finding his forwards close to the line. Jack Whiten had swung from the left to the right. Fogarty and Whiten crying for the ball out on that right edge, and on the back of it, a poor kick from Wolford. Tough for a right footer down that side, so he opted for the left and just couldn't execute it.
The Titans before them a couple of sets in a row inside the 20. Nothing doing on that occasion for Canberra. 8 out from half-time. 2 tries to 1. There's the tally in that stat so far here today. Jamin Jolliffe is out there now, taking the place of Isaac Liu. So is Aaron Clark, who is a real energizer for the Gold Coast. Gets going quickly. Those carries. Here's Foran showing it. Taken down there by Saulo and also Whitehead. And there was some high contact.
Play 5 block. That hurts. Foran taking on the line for the first time this afternoon.
Gee, I hope they play on here, the Titans. And they do.
That they do. They tap it and go. And Jolliffe will play it here inside the 10 from Verrills. It goes to Clark. Tries to use his speed against Emre Gula. Horsburgh was there. Salo. And Verrills comes to the left-hand side. He's going to run in behind Jolliffe. He goes close to getting to the line, but he's held up by Canberra. And it's play on. No obstruction is the call. Now they head back towards Foran and Fifita. Foran again keen to take the line on today. A couple of times he's been stopped this end of the field. Verrills feeds it back through Aaron Clark, and now Boyd. Here's Brimson again on that wrap to the right-hand side, touched by Croker. It comes back to Fifita, and that'll be 6 more for the Titans. Extra set here on top of the Raiders line. Shop 5 metres out, playing it for Verrills. There's Fonawaka. A trick play there. He's back towards the line, feigning a pass out the back, takes them on instead. Now Boyd linking up with Foran. Back on the inside for Fifita. Stopped there, and a tremendous tackle by Salor. Comes away to Kelly. They wrap him up and hurt him towards the sideline. What a tackle that was on Fifita. Now Verrills. Back to the middle. Clark showing it. Gets going now. Boyd. He had Stimson pushing up. Takes it himself. And the Gold Coast have one more. Verrills. Short ball there for Jolliffe. He goes to ground. Trying to get it away. In the end, it's Gula who has it for Canberra.
Well done there from the Canberra Raiders. Real pressure put on them. Gee, that's an exciting tackle they made over that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Fifita back on the inside, come late and at full ball. Great defence from the Raiders.
A shift here for Wyden inside his 20. Takes it to the edge of the field. Had to hit the deck. So an adventure by Canberra, their own end of the field. 4 tackles gone though, just outside their 20 now. Simon Salo takes a tackle here, boys. Legs went through the air in spectacular fashion, and the referee says that's a dangerous throw.
Yeah, I think it might have been Jolliffe or Clark there that just got up underneath and just flipped him. What a relieving one too. That's great pressure there from the Canberra Raiders. They win the penalty. You find it is Jolliffe underneath there, only just onto the field. What a place to get a penalty too when you've been doing it tough on your goal line. You've had to defend. Had a lot of ball down there, the Titans. Now relieving here for the Raiders. I want to finish off this half. 4.5 to go before half time.
It's Wyden who gets things going by giving it off to Emre Gula. Begin just inside the Gold Coast 40. Here's Horsburgh tipping it on for Salo. That was such a good tackle he made on David Fifita. It's hard to stop him. He gets ahead of steam up like that. Oh, sloppy play the ball here. Wolford has put it down as a consequence. And again, the Raiders turn it over. They had a great chance coming up.
Yeah, it's funny as the halves come on. It was first the Titans that really struggled in the first 20 minutes. Now it's the Canberra Raiders. Just a loose play the ball there.
Yeah, no mistake by Wolford. It was just the fact that Sami Sala was almost laying on his side when he rolled it under his leg. And as we know, there's been renewed emphasis on players playing the ball correctly in 2023.
The onus is on the man to play the ball too. He just didn't get his foot right on the football there, which put Wolford off.
Now Kelly puts the Titans under pressure. On the left-hand side, AJ Brimson was an easy target and had to get to ground quickly. Sun still shining here in Canberra. What an afternoon it is in the nation's capital. Good crowd here to see if their team can move to 10 wins. Put them just behind the Broncos and the Panthers. As far as wins so far this season, the ball coming free, helped out here by Fogarty. Is the referee's decision. It'll give the Titans a full set here from close range, and Fifita says, here I am. Stop me if you can. Quick play the ball as well. Stumbling into the tackle was Kieran Foran. Throwing himself at the Raiders. Boyd. Close range. Stop there. And again, Salo tackle. Comes back to the left-hand side. Clark on the inside for Fodelwaker. Bends away from one, then two. Finds Verrills. Comes back to Clark. Looks both ways. Nothing doing. So they'll just take the tackle there in front of the uprights. Verrills waiting. Long time for the play the ball. Comes back to Foran. Here's Fifita back on the inside for Brimson, who's been mostly attacking on the right-hand side. Goes to the left. Well stopped, though. Last play here. Khan Pereira, a catch and a kick again.
Jordan knocks on. He's offside.
And Rapana knocks on. And there was a Raider, Jamal Fogarty, I think, who touched the ball in an offside position.
Yeah, there have been some great tackles in this game, hasn't they? Timoko there with the stop, and also a little bit earlier, Fogarty with a great cover to tackle. Can they hang on now, the Raiders?
There is a problem here. Sami Salo has been left on the ground, and he is not well. He fell to the ground and didn't move off the back of that contact on the carry here from Jermaine Jolliffe. Just catches the shoulder there as Jolliffe tried to spin. And he was in trouble straight away. That might be game over for the Raiders front rower.
Gee, that's a courageous tackle there from Salo. Hitting his head in the wrong spot, but you do your best when you're that close to the line and run at that sort of power. You haven't got time for any sort of technique there. You just got to stop the try, and that's gutsy stuff.
He will come from the field for the head injury assessment. We'll know on the other side of half-time what the situation is, but given the way he went to the ground, it would not be a surprise if he's ruled out pretty much straight away with a Category 1 situation here. Brings Joe Tarpany back on. Just under 80 seconds remaining for the Raiders to try and protect this 6-point lead before the break.
He's up and about, that's the main thing. You've got time to think about where you're going to position your head with that close to the line on your own goal line with that defence. Put his body on the line. Jolliffe it was with the carry. He looks all right.
He had been so good. You saw the tap on the head. He's going to. He thought he was standing in the defensive line. That might be all we need to know right there. The trainer said this will be an HIA situation. Basami Samuel was happy to bat on. Was like, well, no, mate.
Yeah, no,
you are coming from the field, and while he's smiling as he walks off, that's a good sign. But it might be the last time we see him, you'd imagine, here this afternoon. Made a big tackle on Dave Fifita. Fans will remember that if they happen to win this game here. Just a minute or so before the break remaining. The Gold Coast from close range still. There's Fodawaker. He takes it towards the uprights. Verrill's waiting at dummy half. Boyd is right. Foran is left. It goes to Foran. And the inside for Brimson, trying to spin his way through. He beat Horsburgh. He couldn't beat the defence, though, of Gula from Verrills. Jolliffe. He goes to Clark. Now Boyd out the back is shot. It's back towards the middle. Nothing doing there. They'll stay alive. The Canberra fans thought there might have been an obstruction call. Referee disagreed. Here is Clark showing it. Going towards Wolford. Still going. Horsburgh around the legs. Takes him down. Here's the last for the Gold Coast. Goes back to Foran. At the line here, kicks. Fifita is chasing. An awkward one. Fifita, he comes up with it, and he scored for the Gold Coast.
You know, there was a big bump there on Fifita too. It didn't even budge him off his line there. With all the football on the goal line, they had plenty of rest there, the Raiders. They couldn't hang on. 12 seconds to go before half-time. Fifita goes in for number 2. Just watch him being knocked off his line here. This is how strong he is. Bang. Gets the ball. Hungry to get that football. Fogarty can't get there back in time. Just turned his back on him. Horsburgh, I think it was, that come across. But Fifita, what power, what strength to score that try. Determination. And the Titans are in.
Literally seconds out from half-time. How pumped was David Fifita. All-time leading try scorer for a single season for the Titans. Back in 2021, he grabbed 17. Khan Pereira on track to go past that tally, given his efforts so far this season in his rookie year. But what a first half for the Colossus on the left-hand side. David Fifita scores. In a moment, we might be locked up at 12 apiece. Last week against the Roosters, the Raiders led 18 points to nil. Considered a try just before half-time to the Roosters, then had to withstand a comeback in the second half. Well, here they were, leading 12 points to nil. Boy, late in the piece.
The try's under review. We're just having a look at the actions of David Fifita and contesting for the ball.
Late in the piece, the bunker wants to take a look once again.
Well, Fogarty, if you have a look at this, turns his back on him.
David Fifita pushes Jamal Fogarty, denying him an opportunity to compete.
I don't know about that. He's allowed to go for the ball. Fogarty stopped his line and turned his back on him. What's he going to do? He's right on him.
That's hard to believe. That is honestly hard to believe. Jamal Fogarty had the lead. He was in front of David Fifita in the chase for the ball. Plants himself, trying to block out the ball, almost like he was playing basketball, defending the hoop. Fifita goes past him and scores the try, and it's denied by the bunker.
Well, he's deliberately stopped in the line, hasn't he? The chase is on. They're going shoulder to shoulder. Then Fogarty turns his back on him and stops. What's he supposed to do? You can't pull up going at that speed.
Boy, some controversy here on the stroke of half-time. It was about to be very likely 12 points all. Instead, the Raiders, with some seconds added to the clock, wanting it back to when the Penalty was given away by Fifita. Well, drama on the stroke of half-time here in Canberra. At the break, it's the Raiders 12 who lead the Gold Coast 6, but Dave Fifita still shaking his head. Watch this again as Fogarty just stops in the line. Fifita brushes past him and scores the try. Surely that's 4 points.
I've liked his work. I've liked Verrills from dummy half. He's been sharp at times.
We are back underway through Jamal Fogarty. And supplied once again a try off a kick of his for Sebastian Chris in the first half. It's the difference in this game as we speak. As Fodawaker plays it there for the Gold Coast. They had by far the better of attacking chances in that first 40 of the Gold Coast. 30 tackles in total inside the red zone. The Raiders had just 13 at the other end of the field. Jolliffe playing it. Verrills comes across to Aaron Clark. Stopped there by tackle of Whitehead with some help from Woolford and also Joe Tarpany. We'll know more about Pasami Sarlaw and his HIA. We get a halftime report from Matt Russell in just a few moments' time. Verrills comes across here for Boyd to put it high in the air. Chris coming forward. There was a link from Khan Pereira. It was touched though by Chris. It came back to a Canberra teammate in Jamal Fogarty, and he's offside.
Well, there's the first mistake of the second half there from the Canberra Raiders. I just wonder how much it gets in your head. Your second half performances haven't been that good. They're on the attack now. They take the quick tap. The Titans are hungry for points.
Well, a tough break before halftime. Might have got a good one there given the replay we just saw. Would have been a tough one there for the Raiders this time. Here is Boyd, short ball on the right-hand side. They take it towards the line where Stimson is stopped. Now Clark, flat pass there for Jolliffe. Good no looker. Oh, waiting for Stimson though. He'll play it underneath the uprights there as comes across here from Foran to Kelly. Fogarty's defence has been first rate today. Big tackle he made on Khan Pereira in the first half. Clark, nothing doing here. Still going though. He might be small in stature as far as height's concerned, but boy, it can be hard to stop. Now Brimson, cut out ball, a good one as well for Fifita. He scores in the corner, denied seconds before half-time. They score just minutes into the second half.
Yeah, on the back of a mistake, and the Titans cash in straight away. Jojo Fifita elevated into the side for Philip Sami, who hurt himself in the warm-up. You can see Whiten there just rushing out of the line. Left the edge under pressure. They needed to come with him. They held back. That gave Brimson some space and some time to make his decision. And a beautiful cutout pass. AJ Brimson closing in on that Queensland #1 jersey. Lands a beautiful pass to Jojo Fifita. And we could be all locked up here in just a moment.
Well, exactly what you don't want if you're the Canberra Raiders, especially on your home ground the last 3 times. They've given away big leads, had a terrible second half. One mistake straight away. As you said, Brimson comes in to make the extra man. Fifita scores the try. Couldn't defend their line. They were unlucky not to get it levels pegging at half time. And this time they make them pay. So mentally, how are they going to be now, the Raiders?
They'd overcompensated because of the amount of ball that's gone towards Foran and Fifita on the left edge. So they were short out on Whiten's left-hand side a number of times. And on the last, Tanner Boyd going there with AJ Brimson, and they pick up a vital try.
Just that speed of Brimson just to get on the outside. No substitute for speed.
Boyd's kick is a beauty. Oh, it hits the upright though and stays out. It remains a 2-point lead here for Canberra. 12-10 over the Gold Coast Titans. Downstairs to Matt Russell.
Jim Lenihan obviously delighted with that start because at half-time his players were really upset with the David Fifita no try. He said, get your heads out of that incident. Back into the second half, you're right in this game. Remove any frustration, cut your errors, and we can win this. As for Ricky Stewart, he wanted better discipline, unhappy with the 7 penalties conceded in the first half. Also better patience with good ball, so on the attack. attack. He thought they rushed a little. Basami Solo out of the game, just confirming that news, but it's Category 2, not Category 1.
Out of the game, but Category 2, not Category 1. Same effect as far as what's happening here this afternoon, I guess.
He's made a real difference, Aaron Clark, since coming onto the field. Short, nuggety, robust, and his ability to ball plays, just keeping the defensive line in two minds. He's been very good.
Now forward again, up very quickly though on the right-hand side. Timoko put a good bump on Brian Kelly, but he absorbed that, was able to stay alive to pinch a couple more metres. Jolliffe now pokes his nose through the line nicely there. Here are the Gold Coast rolling down the field. Brimson gives it off to Fodawaker.
Yeah, getting real loose through the middle here, Canberra. Worrying signs, only 4 minutes into the second half.
Last play, 30 metres out. Boyd puts it in the air. A chance for Fifita once again. The kick, though, goes out on the full.
You don't underestimate the play too. The man off the bench, Jolliffe, he was great for the Titans last week. Moved back to the bench. But great leg speed. You mentioned he poked his nose through and then straight away off a quick play the ball. Brimson's on.
Yeah.
Well, they had them really battling there.
That's a poor kick, wasn't
Good kick off the back of it. They've got them working it away from inside the 10 or thereabouts instead. So 3 metres for the Raiders. Gula works it up here to almost the halfway line. It's a narrow lead now. Both these teams know something about coughing up handy leads. The Titans have done it from double figures 4 times so far in 2023. Perhaps playing from 12 points behind was more to their liking here today. Now Young, left-hand side, trying to keep it alive. Good hands by Horsburgh. He's a skillful big man. Scored a double in the one game earlier this year. Plays it just inside the 30. Goes from Tarpany to Fogarty. Whitehead showing it. Fawn was there though, so was Dave Fifita. Now Rapana on the last play down the short side. He thought he might have had Fifita not square at marker. Referee says he was good to go, and that will be the changeover. Titans hang on to work it away through Kelly. Real momentum in the game, either side of the break. Longs with the visitors. Horsburgh there, levelling. Khan Pereira bounces back to his feet. And now Croker. Game number 302. Good defence here with some help from Hudson Young. Verrills goes back to the middle. Here is Jolliffe again. Look at those post-contact meters once more. Croker was there again, doubling up on his defensive work. Fodawaker brings it back to be stopped there by Gula. Quick play the balls though, really hurting Canberra here, and Foran had all the time in the world to work out what kick he was going to put in. Instead, he lobbed it straight on the full to Sebastian Chris. Probably like that one over again. Chris to play it here at the Raiders 30 as Opawati comes in for a carry. Themselves into the arm wrestle here, Canberra, just steady the ship slightly, but what they're doing without the ball at the moment, causing most concerns, no doubt, for Ricky Stewart. Wolford comes across on the left-hand side where Jack White is well handled by Clark. And now again for Horsburgh. Doing the ball playing in the middle. There was pressure there from Brian Kelly. He got up in the face of Sebastian Chris, who couldn't handle it. And they turn it over at the halfway line where Fifita plays it. And here is Jojo Fifita coming in for a carry straight away.
They get turnover again there from the Canberra Raiders, getting very sloppy around the middle third of the field now. Look at some footwork in that Jolliffe, and that's starting to carve them up down that middle.
And the Titans stacking numbers again on this left-hand side where Foran tackled a number of times, maybe 5 or 6 to this point of the game with the ball in attacking situations. Really keen to test out the honesty of those Raiders forwards and see if they're looking to the men out on his outside. Brimson going to the outside on the right-hand side of the field. Shop takes it to ground inside the Canberra 10. 4 tackles gone in this set. Boyd comes back to Fodawaker, who just skips his way towards the uprights. And And they have one more for Verrills. Next one way comes back to Clark. Boyd, a juggle, a kick by Horsburgh, couldn't come up with it. 6 more plays. And then off the back of that, Kelly gives it away, reaching for the line. Pereira lost it.
Who was that that made the tackle? Fogarty, I think it was. What a tackle.
Rapana gave it to Timoko. There's nobody in front of him, and he's going to run away and score 100 metres from where Pereira didn't put the ball down for the Gold Coast. A 12-point turnaround, potentially, if you've ever seen one.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. It's Corey Horsburgh that just can't hold the ball. They get another set, and they instantly look to go down that left-hand side. And Todd Smith here under duress. And the Gold Coast side, this is it. They little juggle there, tries to recover the Tanner Boyd grubber kick, and then you just see Brian Kelly did a great job to bring in Timoko. Look at the effort there from Jamal Fogarty. And then just Titans players standing around waiting for a call from Todd Smith. Timoko not so much. He just accelerated on the outside and streaks the length of the field. And forget about the confusion. The Raiders playing the whistle, and they might have just come up with an important 4-pointer.
Have the Gold Coast taken their advantage here? Picked up there. Kelly comes immediately to Pereira, who dives, loses it in the motion of trying to put it down. And the referee in his mind has ruled the Gold Coast had their advantage, took it, lost the ball.
Yep.
It's then play on, and Timoko races away.
It's great play there from the Raiders to keep playing. If you had a look at around the players in and around the ball there, they were that disappointed that they didn't score. They just stopped defending. Just stood on the goal line, and I think it was...
There you go. And wasn't it good work from Jordan Rapana in the end goal just to react, scoop the ball up, and while all the other players, particularly the Titans, hesitated and were looking to referee Todd Smith to make a call, it was the right edge of the Raiders that just put the foot down.
Gee, that's a big turnaround, that.
Huge.
Huge. They could have gone back-to-back there, the Titans.
They were in real trouble. It has been an ordinary start from the Raiders in the second half. A number of errors. They've been loose defensively through the middle, given away some possession. But to have the speed and skill of Rapana and Timoko.
So Croker bends it back, adds another 2 points. What a stomach punch for the Gold Coast Titans. Pereira goes as close as this. Taken out of play there by Fogarty, who saves a try. And then picking it up, Rapana goes to Timoko. He runs away. And the Titans in his wake watching on, wondering what just happened.
Well, that's 2 try savers now this afternoon from the former Titan, Jamal Fogarty. And both on Pereira, who was left opposition sides for dead with speed. 2 genuine try savers. Brilliant from Fogarty.
I'm sure Titans fans will be second-guessing the call by Todd Smith in regards to the advantage being taken, because there's no hard and fast rule. It's not black and white. It's a very grey area, and I'm sure we've seen some referees who in games this year would have said no advantage to the Gold Coast Titans there, knock on against Corey Horsburgh.
Well, the rule is they've got to run 10 metres. Is that the rule? That they've got to take the ball 10 metres, and I think that was the right call there.
Raiders bring it back here through Hudson Young, stepping past one defender to bring it almost back to the 40-metre line. Good carry right there. New South Wales origin forward. Wolford comes across to Gula, who will take it beyond the halfway line. A strong carry. 2 good runs by Young and then Gula. Give him a chance here to put an attacking kick up through Fogarty. Go down towards Primson, backpedaling as he makes the catch. They'll bring it out here, but that's a big set for Canberra off the back of what was a real bonus try.
Yeah, talk about taking the wind out of their sails. And you can just see here the Titans, that was a great set from Canberra, and a nice long kick from Fogarty again has just got the Titans just dropping their head at the moment. They can't believe what's happened as they were earning their way back into the game. And with a real chance to go ahead through Khan Pereira, it has now left them with an 8-point gap in the scoreline. And they're struggling to recover here mentally, the Gold Coast side.
Struggling to recover is Jojo Fifita here, who with the tackle of Croker and also Young. Horsburgh lends his weight to the tackle there. Maybe just that body weight coming down on the left leg there of Fifita. You see his reaction, grimacing immediately, and that is the test they're doing to check out the left knee.
Yeah, well, this is the luxury as we see Wolford sprint from the field. Exactly, this man, Jaden Campbell, about to come into the game and talk about someone who can find points. One of the most elusive interchange players in the game, and can come on and make a difference, and make a difference quick.
Cool his heels for the moment. Jaden Campbell goes back to the bench while the Gold Coast work it away, and they'll take a look at Fifita and see how he's moving out there on that right-hand side. Score the Titans try just beyond half-time to make it a 2-point game. Timoko runs the length to make it an 8-point lead. Boyd, his kick charge down. Brimson couldn't clean it up. Here's another chance for Canberra against the run of play. Whiten comes up with it.
Hudson Young
charge down was okay. Young is left on the ground behind the play. Play on though. Tom Starling weaving in midfield. Whitehead, Timoko again, taking some stopping, fires it over his shoulder. Was it played at by the Titans? The call is a knock-on. Knock-on by Canberra.
Gee, that was good defensive play there on Timoko. He looked like he was through again. He's a powerful bloke. Built low to the ground. There's the charge down. Brimson knocks the ball on. Whiten scoops it up. And here's the charge. This is a telling tackle, this one. For and deemed not to play at the ball there.
Well, the ruling was the Hail Mary over the shoulder by Timoko was forward. And the referee, who was right in line with the play. So it's Clark here, just outside the Titans 20. 25 and a half minutes remaining. Cowboys and Tigers beyond this on Super Saturday. And then beyond that, it's the Broncos and the Dolphins in the second instalment of the Battle of Brisbane. The first one was a beauty. Katoni Staggs went the length of the field on that occasion to seal it for the Broncos. Here are the Titans through Verrills. He'll play it 35 metres out. Boyd kicking out towards Kelly and company. Coming forward, Chris is there, makes a good catch. Stimson was thereabouts. Threw an arm out, tried to put off the Canberra fullback. But he makes the catch and they'll work it away from inside their 10.
7 missed tackles in the first half of the Canberra side. They were enormous defensively, and 12 now already just to start the second half. They're falling off some tackles through the middle, and for the Gold Coast side, just how much longer does Jim Lenigan hold back Tino with the game starting and time in particular starting to get away? 8 points down. The injection of Fa'asua Malawi might be exactly what they need through the middle.
Here's Tarpany running through the middle for Canberra. Brings it back to almost the halfway line. One more play here for the Raiders. As Starling looks, it's Fogarty he finds.
Oh, yes.
And a spiral, which will be difficult to handle for Brimson again. They really tested him out. They haven't kicked to the corners. They have kicked to Brimson in the main. He had one moment in the first half where he let one bounce awkwardly. Saved the day by bringing it back to the field of play, but they keep going to him. Now Kelly.
Tino straight back onto the field. Aaron Clark from the field. Tino out there now for the Gold Coast.
Offload there from Brian Kelly. Came back to Sam Verrills. It is Fa'asua Malawi who works it forward here to pick up 10 for the Gold Coast.
There's a fair bit of space around the middle, as we mentioned. Verrills will come into his own now. Once they get a couple of quick play the balls, I reckon you're going to see some exciting play from him.
The feet are staying alive coming up. Whitehead is there. And drop back. There's a bit of cover. To come up and make the tackle on Dave Fifita. Boyd to kick. Chris underneath it. Fa'asua Malawi was there. Didn't get a clean crack at getting to the ball. Raider put himself in between Tino and the catcher, and Chris ends up with it for the Raiders as Hopewadi gives an offload away to Croker. Down the sideline, chasing hard. They can't get to him. Whiten is there. Gets away from another defender.
That's Kieran Foran back there. Great effort from the veteran to get back there on Whiten.
He made 2 attempts. The second was good. Quick hands, though. Oh, Rapana to Fogarty. They had them shot to bits.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about what he was going to do before he caught the ball there, Fogarty. That's his first error of the afternoon. Look at this for a pass. Hopewadi, brilliant. Look at the scramble coming. Great defence there. It looked like Whiten was away again. They came again. That's Foran back there. And then the shift straight away to the right. Fogarty getting the ball and trying to decide what to do with it before he's got it.
Well, it was 4-on-2 at a minimum on this right-hand side. The Titans, there were holes everywhere.
Well, the blood starts to pump when you get in those sort of situations.
Yep.
You try and rush it. That's what happened there.
A former Titan who played under Jim Lenihan in the Queensland Cup. That's an error there and really lets the Titans off the hook. Boy, 24 points to 10 there. There's going to be a long way to come back from for the Gold Coast with 20 minutes remaining. Instead, the difference remains 8 as Verrills through 4 and finds Fifita standing in the tackle. He's been so involved today. We believe should have had at least a second try just before half-time, denied very late in the piece by the bunker.
He's getting through a mountain of work, Joseph Tarpany.
Now Boyd with the kick. Kelly coming through. Rapana is there, says to Sebastian Chris, I've got this one. He's good to his word. Fends away from 2, then 3. Right. Still going Rapana. What a crowd favourite he's been for a long time here.
Oh, they love him in the nation's capital. That was a tremendous run from Jordan Rapana, and Hopewadi again carrying the football, but that's twice now. To start their sets, the Gold Coast have come away with good kicks and then just relieved all the pressure with a poor kick chase line.
Don't you love a winger that doesn't surrender? That is an unbelievable to start the set from Rapana. Put the foot to the down on the pedal there straight away. A great start for their set.
Balls were well stopped here. Joe Stimson playing in his 100th game in the NRL today. The Raiders spoiling the milestone for him as Fogarty kicks towards the corner this time, going back. It might be too big. Khan Pereira just coasts back to make the catch. Another mistake by Jamal Fogarty here gives the Titans 7 tackles. A couple of moments, his last few touches he would like over. So that was the 0 tackle there. It's Shop working it through the middle. Mariota is back on deck for Canberra here. Started the game with Kasami Sola, who, as we heard from Matt Russell, out of the game in what is a Category 2 situation for the front rower. Suamala standing here a long time, takes it to ground. Verrills works from dummy half through Stimson, then Foran, Brimson. Fogarty just sliding is there to make the tackle on the Titans fullback. Off the back of 7 tackles from the 20. They still have 2 more remaining here. Jolliffe. He goes inside the red zone. Now the last fall on this left-hand side. Goes quickly for Fifita, who puts a kick in. More problems for the Gold Coast because Whitehead comes up with it, although the sideline official says knock on.
I think this might be the right call too.
Scrum in the middle.
I don't know, did you watch last night?
Look at the effort there from Elliot Whitehead. Yeah, uses the ground, I think. Hold on, there's a bit of a brouhaha going here in back play between Whitehead and Brian Kelly.
Tino, nothing stupid. On a shot clock, let's go.
That was late in evolving, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure what the discussion was. They've calmed down for the moment. And will be the Gold Coast again, 25 metres out. Trailing by 8, 7 wins, 7 losses coming into today's game for the Titans. And this is the first of 10 straight games in the regular season in a run potentially to the big games in September. It's a long road to hoe for them. Brimson, though, as they search for a third straight win. Done that so far in 2023. Set restart and high contact here right in front of the uprights. You could take the two right here to bring it back to a converted try the difference.
Yeah.
Should they want to. A call to make. They're going to tap it and go. They want the 4, if not the 6, right here. So Jolliffe met there in a strong tackle. Sebastian Chris it was. Underneath him, a real rib check there. Verrills comes to Isaac Liu. Still going. He's only about a metre out when he'll play it here. Some depth on this left-hand side. Foreign. Fifita gets it hands-free. Passes away to Khan Pereira. Dave Fifita. What an impact he's had again here today. What a carry and what a pass to put it on a platter for a Lofiana Khan Pereira.
Yeah, similar play to last week, and it's Foreign digging right into the line. Boy, what a freak. David Fifita, have a look at this. Turning the corner hard, isolating Fifita right on top of Jamal Fogarty. Timoko had to come in to try and assist, but they both go low, which then allows the arms of Fifita to get over the top. Rifles the pass across to Khan Pereira, who was flying down the touchline. Brilliant ball playing from the veteran Foreign. What a weapon this bloke is for Fifita. And we spoke about him at halftime being a handful. Well, boy, almost uncontainable there down the left edge.
Well, Mick, how good is it when he decides to run and break tackles rather than the other way around, when he tries to pussyfoot around and pass before the line? If he decides to hit the ball like that, you mentioned it was a great pass from Foreign, but it was destructive running there. Once he makes the break, a couple of legs tackles, he gets the offload anyway. Think run. How good is he?
Well, they had the option for the 2 from right in front.
Yeah.
Instead, they just went to the tried and true. 3 up for Dave Fifita. Never a bad option.
No, always a decent option.
Boyd from the sideline. What a kick this is. Right over the black dot. It's a 2-point game courtesy of that man, Matt Russell.
What a finish we have in store was. You mentioned it. Gold Coast not winning 3 straight games this season. In fact, it's been 691 days back in 2021, the last time they did it. Still 2 points behind here, but a lot of time for the Titans. Edgy times for the Raiders as a result. Ricky Stewart comes sideline. He will ride his side home from close quarters. You mentioned the Titans, 6 of their last 9 games at home. If they win this, they'll go to the edge of the top 8 and set themselves up for a big finish to 2023.
Restart here from Canberra. A grandstand finish in game 1 right here on Super Saturday. Cowboys and the Tigers following this one. And then we've got a Suncorp. The second meeting between the Broncos and the Dolphins. The Dolphins happen to be the Titans' next opponent. That's next Sunday at 4 o'clock. At home at Cbus Super Stadium. Jojo Fifita shaking off that knock to the left knee he had earlier in this second half. Now Liu. Foreign. Fifita again. What a handful he is. Almost 10 metres there beyond contact. Goes inside the Canberra 40. Short side here, Foreign again, taking it to the line. Getting his money's worth today. He'll run for more metres than he has for a long, long time. He'll play it for Verrills. Goes back to Boyd, and the kick towards the corner. Kelly it is, trying to put Chris under pressure. He got a foot back in the in goal just in time as the call. He's run to the 20, was denied there by the Gold Coast Titans, and now there is time off because the Raiders had players in front of the 20.
Well, we saw a similar kick down the other end from Jamal Fogarty a couple of minutes ago that just relieved all pressure that the Raiders had built that time. Yeah, you can see the disappointment. Tanner Boyd, another poor kick, and Sebastian Chris positioned himself perfectly in the in goal. And the Raiders now with 7 tackles. Momentum shift again. Some real coach killers in this second half.
Well, you've got to try and kick away from the fullback in that sort of situation. Chris didn't even have to move. Kick right down his throat.
It Did well to get a foot back in the in goal in time. In the eyes of the referee, Whiten takes it towards Boyd. Just outside the 30 here. Trying to hit back and open up a handy buffer once again. Starling. They work it towards the 20. 42 tackles to 15 in favour of the Titans inside the red zone. Massive talent. Horsburgh. He finds Whiten. Not much happening. He puts a kick in. It'll bounce off a point though and go dead. Boy, 2 kicks, one by Fogarty, one by Whiten. The last 2 times they've been down here, they would like over again.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that, Jack Whiten. Nor will Ricky Stewart. Yeah, just nothing on the offload. Promoted the footy and then just tried to steer it over the top there of Jojo Fifita. Didn't get a kind bounce, and now Verrill's out of dummy half, up to the halfway line already, and it's only play 2.
Ricky trying to stay calm and warm. Oh, Isaac Liu puts it down now.
Well, he had one in the first half too, Isaac Liu, and this one again just thinking about the play that's coming rather than worrying about the primary focus on catching the ball. He was thinking ball play, he was thinking who have I got to get to, what am I going to do, and he took his eyes off the ball, and that is a coach killer.
And we saw the coach up there in the box, and somewhere, potentially, maybe, Justin Holbrook watching on saying, Jim, now you know how I feel.
After that, I think I might get Aaron Clark back out there.
It's good, wasn't he?
He was good.
He's a real meter eater. As White will play it here. His right-hand side, Horsburgh working it forward. Lights starting to take real effect here. As day becomes night almost in Canberra. Starling.
Nice play from Starling, acting out of dummy half, finding the robust Adam Mariota direct onto the ball.
Just inside the 30 as Fogarty goes through. Hudson Young out the back was Whiten. Well handled though by Aaron Chop. 4 plays gone at the edge of the 20. And Hopewadi will take it himself from dummy half. Taken to ground there by Fa'asua Mala'awi, and also Chris Randall is out there at the death. Here's Fogarty grubbering this time. Brimson had eyes on the ball. Foran though beat him to it and keeps it in play for the Gold Coast.
What about that play from Foran? Showed all the experience. Just said, that's my ball, I'm going to get it. And he went after it. Wasn't a bad grubber kick through, but Foran puts his body on the line straight away. That's a big play.
And the Titans reacted there. They thought there was a high tackle from Jordan Rapana. The referee didn't agree. As Fodawaker.
Yeah, he's got his starting middle rotation out there now. Fodawaker back into the action for his second stint. He was tremendous to start the game.
Here is Tino, runs towards Whitehead. Good tackle downstairs though by Tom Starling on a much bigger man. Boyd. Just outside his own 30. The kick goes down here to Hopewadi. He'll bring it back and be stopped there. Good position for the Raiders to begin this set of 6. We've got just over 10 minutes remaining and nobody has left their seat here in Canberra.
Corey Horsburgh off. He's had an enormous game again today. Tarpany back into the action. Stewart trying to fight fire with fire, getting his key middle forward back out there.
Now Fogarty for Tarpany, very wide out here on this right-hand side. We'll play it just outside the Titans 30. Starling waits. Whitehead was wrapping to the short side. Fogarty, though, turns it underneath for Mariota to stand in the tackle. Fifita makes sure he can't get the ball away. And here's the last. How's the kick this time? Better wait from Fogarty. Goes down there towards Fifita. No, Raider got there to make a contest of it. And Jojo will play a 10 out from the Titans line. Boyd. He'll find Randall.
Yeah, that's much better from the Canberra side, going set for set. 2 good kicks from Fogarty. One, the grubber kick, a metre or 2 out from the Titans line, that time turning it over in the far corner.
Plenty of metres here for Fa'asua Mala'awi. He'll pick up more than 15 of them. No line speed at all there from Canberra. That was alarming. Foran for Kelly. It's towards Fogarty and Whitehead. Oh, he's trying to get it free. He held onto it, but only just. Fifita goes to Boyd. Spiral kick here for Chris to try and handle. Makes a catch. Awkward looking one, but he comes up with it all the same and brings it back to within 20 of the halfway line. So off the back of the try, scored by Khan Pereira. 63rd minutes. They've been able to settle things down, get through their sets, and defend the 7 tackle sets they've given away on 2 occasions. Rapana here. I thought he might have been bumped there by Mo Fodawaker at the death.
Tackle 2,
A
Jordan.
little wrestle on the ground, and in the end, there's some contact from Fodawaker, and
Yeah, you see Big Tino just drop off, and he tried the one-on-one steal there. I think it's an accident on the way down. Good for the Titans now, this little bit of a stoppage. Get their line intact.
Rapana is okay, and so is Gula to take the carry. Get the set back underway. Starling with hands in the air says, who wants it? Fogarty goes to Whiten. Hudson Young working off Jack Whiten. They produced some points in recent seasons, that combination for the Raiders. They'd love to do something here. Whiten gypsy over the top. Brimson is there, has to play at it and take it out of play.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this, Jack White, and just have a look here, and it's AJ Brimson regularly this afternoon as he put himself on the short side and actually come forward. You can see he's just on the inside there. He had to retreat very quickly. And that was smart play from Jack White, and just maintaining possession. Nice kick, got a good bounce. And the Raiders putting together a really good couple of minutes here.
Boyd going short. Rapana versus Khan Pereira. Mariota ends up with it. It was a good tap by Khan Pereira, but heads up piece of play by the rookie front rower. He was there in case there was a ball hits the deck, and they're right on the attack to begin. Tarpany got past Liu, still going, eventually taken around the legs there by Fifita and Fodawaker. 2 tackles gone. Starling. He's it back from Mariota. Coming up quickly was Chris Randall. Both Randall and Verrills in the middle of the park at the same time. Starling comes out the back here. Fogarty shows it. What an effort by Mo Fodawaker. It was one-on-one and he stopped Fogarty cold. Starling, short side. Young trying to reach out. He put it down. Hudson Young, there he is. The try sneak himself. He grabs his 6th for the season, and it's a big one here for Canberra.
Yeah, on the back of a big chunk of possession down on the Titans line. Some really good work from Jamal Fogarty and Jack White and building pressure with their kicking game. It's the combination of Tom Starling and a genuine match winner in Hudson Young. How often have we seen the Raiders crying out for the killer blow? And it's Hudson Young that finds it, the left arm at full stretch. Nice short ball there from Tom Starling. And with 6 minutes to go here, could that be the killer blow from the Raiders and Hudson Young?
Well, he's been threatening all afternoon up that side, hasn't he? Just stuck at it all arvo. This time he gets the rewards. Obviously, they've pinpointed a weakness up that side. The right-hand defence there. As you said, Starling with some good little bit of play out of dummy half. Just that little bit of speed, jumps out of dummy half. Hudson Young knew exactly what he was doing. Going for the one-on-one tackle, just dives over the top. And that could be the ball game.
And in game 302, Jared Croker with a huge kick here with 5 minutes remaining to make this an 8-point lead. He's perfect with the boot today. Slight breeze he's kicking into out of the west, making it chilly in Canberra. Now the shadows have really extended right across the field. And the veteran can go a long way here to helping them seal their 10th win of the season. Nice strike off the boot. It stays true, and Jared Croker makes it 24 points to 16 off the back of this moment. Starling, a bullet-like pass and Young extends the arm and scores for the Raiders.
And Ricky loves it, was his 6th try of the season, Hudson Young. How important is that going to be? It might be enough. Last year, 14 tries in 24 games. He's definitely a try-scoring edge forward. And today, a nice tune-up for Origin against so many Maroons in the opposition lineup. After this, speaking of Maroon, we're off to Queensland. The Cowboys against the Tigers, then the Dolphins trying to challenge the Broncos at the Gabbaras. Rapana diffuses the short kick-off.
It's a Sunshine State double coming up beyond this from one extreme, the chilly climbs of Canberra, to North Queensland. Boy, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, he's got an issue here. He came racing out of the line looking for an impact on Elliott Whitehead. He shakes off the cobwebs. That will be interesting, and perhaps that reaction there from Fa'asuamaleaui tells you plenty about it. He was sailing very high here.
Yeah, that's a dangerous tackle, isn't it? The arm thrown out there by Big Tino. What an effort it has been from the Raiders in the second half. You think back, it was the Titans who scored straight after the half-time break. Could have scored again, but they've hung in here. What an effort from the Raiders.
He was charged, of course, for contact with Reid Marnie going back to that controversial incident against the Bulldogs. He might have a nervous waiting for the match review committee sheet to come out tomorrow morning sometime. Raiders back here inside the 20. Going to shut the door right now. Tarpany going a long way. Taken down just by Brimson around the legs. Starling waits at dummy half. They bypass Mariota. Here is Gula. Going to work his way in. He's gone into the in goal as well. It's going to be a penalty, though.
Holding him up and you strip the ball.
For the ball being ripped out while he was in the field of play.
It's amazing from Tarpany. Gee, we've seen some good forwards through the middle here this afternoon, but Tarpany, his second stint, that's the best run of the game from him. What an athlete he is. Trying to get his team home. They'll take the shot at goal right in front. What a run that was.
It's a good thing to score at one stage. Gula did also here. Randall was there. Fa'asuamaleaui also. And the ball ripped away, and Todd Smith says that'll be a penalty, and they can use up plenty of time here on the clock. Time off for the moment, however, with 3 minutes remaining exactly. The Raiders, who began the season with just one win from their first 5 games, were slow out of the blocks, went down to a field goal against the Cowboys in Townsville back in round 1. They got going quickly enough, though. Reeled off 5 straight wins. They're 8-2 in their last 10. It's vaulted them towards the top of the ladder. And they can, with the 10th win here today, have, as we said earlier, just the Broncos and the Panthers who have more wins than them. They are in good shape. Next week they take on the Dragons. Friday night game up the road in Wollongong. Then they have the bye in round 20. Set themselves for a push towards the finals. That will be their last bye of the season. From right beside the uprights, Jared Croker adds 2 points. And with 2.5 remaining, it's a 10-point lead now, and Ricky is feeling pretty confident. They've got the job done here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the next game too, the Brisbane Broncos, whether they pump themselves up after the defeat by the Titans last week. I reckon they'll be pumped for the local derby.
That'll be a beauty following the Cowboys and the Tigers. Cowboys, another of those teams on a charge in the race towards the finals. Knocked on here by Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. And there might...
It's an escort.
There must have been some escort work by the Raiders, is what the referee is saying. I thought for a moment he was going to say offside for the Titans, but it wasn't. And Jamal Fogarty, with the captain's challenge up their sleeve, says,
Casey,
we'll use it right here.
Canberra. On-field decision is an escort from Matt Timoko. Canberra challenging. They can challenge it, they want to.
Let's have a look and see what the
Watching the run of Matt Timoko
reveals here.
He runs across field, which impacts the ability to jump for the ball. The challenge is unsuccessful. So we'll be the Gold Coast here with 1:46 remaining.
Not quite home yet, the Raiders. If the Titans could score here, give them maybe a couple of plays from a restart.
Think back to the try for Fifita that was not given just on the stroke of half time. It could have been anything. Would have went right down to the wire this game.
I know we'll hear a lot more about that beyond full time. 10 is the difference though at the moment. It's Verrills for Fifita again. Here he is just launching himself. Look at the Raiders defence. Whitehead was there. He had help for Asuamala. He dives in. They are still alive.
Great footwork there. Asuamala Awi. What about the footwork there at the back end of the game? I mentioned Tarpany just a little while ago, but what about this for the effort? On the back of the penalty, second tackle for Fifita. Quick play the ball. Footwork there from Big Tino. And they'll rush this kick. Still enough time, 1:30 left.
There is time for a full set now. They score with 90 seconds remaining or just under. It's a 4-point game. And Jim Lenihan in game number 2 as the interim coach. He's a miracle away from being 2 from 2. The run by Fifita. They threw so many jumpers at him. There was space back in the middle, and the 1-2 punch between Dave Fifita and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui has a Raiders coach very, very nervous on the sideline. There's no kicking tee here for the Raiders. Maybe a ploy by the ball kids to use up some time here and just give the Raiders a chance to catch their breath. Now it emerges.
I reckon the Titans bench will be saying, we've got one, here it is. Let's get on with it. What a game this has been.
They'll go deep, you'd imagine. They're lobbing into no man's land. I'll see if there's an awkward bounce, but Fogarty will just kick it down here towards the goal line. It's Fodawaker to bring it back, to get things going. One set of 6 to decide this game. He lost the ball in the carry. Can you believe that? They've put down some possession, some important possession in this second half, but none more so than this. Here it is. They don't have their captain's challenge available.
Ooh, was there a little bit of a tug there? Hand by Whitehead, had his hand on the ball.
He might have taken a chance. Had he been pinged, he gives up some possession much further down the field, but he took the odds to it potentially. It might have gone his way anyway. And off the back of that mistake, Canberra will just take a couple of carries here, you'd imagine. No risk taken. And here is a penalty to the Gold Coast. Another twist in the tail.
Jordan. Time on.
It was held in the scrum as the call. Can't do that anymore in 2023. And they will get one, if not a couple of plays. There it is being held up. And Canberra may have missed the memo in regards to that facet of the game changing. Fa'asuamaleaui plays it. Seconds remaining. Comes from Boyd with his right-hand side. They need to play it quickly. Canberra hanging on. That will be time. The whistle blows. They don't get to play the ball in. And Ricky breathes a massive sigh of relief.
Well, what a game of footy. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about the no tries here from the Titans just on the stroke of half time, but the Raiders, finally, a big second half from them. They were under the pump early. The Titans had scored first in the second half. They had to find something, and they did.
Well, talk about drama to finish both the first half and the second half. And no try today for Fifita in the first instance. In a 4-point game, that becomes rather important, doesn't it? I'm sure Jim Lenihan will talk about that in the post-game media conference. But Fa'asuamaleaui's try gave them a chance. They come up 4 points short. The Raiders win 26-22 downstairs to Love.